Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I want to do a video talking about my goals for the year. I know I did a video with my buddy Greg from Midlife Cards in early January, talking about my 3 tiers of goal cards for the year. I've switched that up a little bit. My savings process stayed the same, but instead of doing 3 tiers of goal cards, I've decided to just do 12 cards, 1 card a month, and change up kind of the cards on my list. Obviously, if I went from 15 to 12, I dropped some off, but I actually changed up more than that because I decided to be more focused on specific players this year. Before we jump into it, I want to thank my buddy Greg from Midlife Cards for sending me this awesome Pumpsy Green autograph photo. Let's try to get the glare off it. But yeah, they sent me that, autographed by Pumpsy Green. Pumpsy Green was the first African-American Red Sox. Greg mentioned that Pumpsy Green was a friend of a friend, and he's had this for a long time, so I really do appreciate that. It means a lot, buddy. Thanks for sending it to me. Great piece for my collection. All right, so let's jump into how my collecting goals have changed for the year. So my buddy Greg from Midlife Cards and I did a video at the beginning of the year discussing our goals for 2024. At the time, I had 15 cards on my list. Since then, I've changed it up a little bit and now only have 12 cards. My new purchasing goal is 1 card from the list per month. Now, I have cheated a little bit. I picked up a few cards from my early African-American player collection, seen here, the 51 Topps Monty Irvin Redback, and a 7. And then I also picked up the 1950 Bowman Don Newcomb in a 4. There's the back of that guy. I just loved collecting the cards from the early African American players, so I did pick some of those up. Not on my list, but a little bit of a shift. But I'm cool with it. I also picked up this DiMaggio exhibits that I showed a couple weeks ago, only because it was $150 for a 1937 DiMaggio, which I thought was pretty awesome. So that being said, my old list, I had 3 tiers. Tier 3 were 1957 Topps Mickey Mantle, 1964 Topps Stand-Up Mickey Mantle, 1954 Red Heart Mickey Mantle, T205 Christy Mathewson, and a 1933 Gowdy Hack Wilson. My Tier 2 cards were 1954 Bowman Mickey Mantle, a 1954 Dan D Mickey Mantle, a 1953 Topps Jackie Robinson, a 1949 Leaf Ted Williams, a 1949 Leaf Joe DiMaggio. And then my Tier 1 cards were a 1952 Topps Jackie Robinson, a 1950 Bowman Jackie Robinson, a 1941 Play Ball Joe DiMaggio, a 1934 Gowdy Lou Gehrig Yellow, and a 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle. I've since reevaluated my plan for the year to focus on Robinson, Gehrig, and DiMaggio. I did pick up this 1954 Bowman Mickey Mantle in January. This one's a nice one in a SGC5. There's the back of it. So I picked that one up in January, but then after I picked it up, I sort of realized that though I love Mickey Mantle, the guys I really wanted to focus on this year were Jackie Robinson, Lou Gehrig, and Joe DiMaggio. So at that point, I kind of switched it up to my new 12 card goal of 1 card per month. So interesting enough, on the old list and the new list, we had both lists had the 1941 Play Ball Joe DiMaggio. Picked this one up in February. This is a PSA 3. There's the back of it. It's got nice, I like the coloring. I like the nice coloring. It's very clear. It basically looks like the 40, but with colors. I also like the fact that it kind of reminds me of kind of a look of a Gowdy, or even a T206 for that matter, with the way they did the coloring. So I thought that was cool. And then obviously, if you watch the channel, this was my pickup for March, the 48 Leaf, 49 Leaf Joe DiMaggio, and a PSA 4.5. There's the back of that guy. So the new 12 cards I have on the list for the year are the 52 Topps Jackie Robinson, which is one of my goal cards for the National this year, a 1950 Bowman Jackie Robinson, and 1953 Topps Jackie Robinson. So all three of those were on my previous list. 1934 Gaudy Graig in yellow. That's another one of my national goal cards. That one was also on my previous list. A new one to the list is a 1934 Gaudy Graig, but the green background where he's swinging. Love that card. I also added to the list a 1937 Exhibits 4-in-1 with Tony Lazzari, Lefty Gomez, Lou Gehrig, and Joe DiMaggio. I thought that'd be a great transition card in the collection when I go from my Gehrig run to my DiMaggio run. It's a great transition. It's got both players on it. That's actually my goal card for the Strongsville show. Next card on the list is a 1940 play ball Joe DiMaggio, and then 1941 play ball DiMaggio right here, like I showed, and 1949 Leaf Joe DiMaggio right here. So that gets us to 9. Number 10 is a 1951 Burke Ross Joe DiMaggio. My buddy Iconic Al pointed out to me that Burke Ross were his last playing days cards, because when I showed the 49 Leaf, I made a comment that this was his last playing days card. So Al pointed that out. He was right. So got the 51 Burke Ross on the list now, as well as a 52 Burke Ross DiMaggio on the list. And then the number 12, obviously, was the 54 Mantle that I had picked up in January. So those were the 12 cards. So the reason for my changes in the strategy were really twofold. First, I love collecting Mickey Mantle cards, but realized after I picked up the 54 Bowman that I'm really more passionate about Robinson, Gehrig, and DiMaggio. Also, I really like the 33 Gaudy Hack Wilson and the T205 Mathewson from my original list, but wanted to be more player focused this year. To be clear, I'm still going after these cards, plus the Mantles, but not until I pick up the new, more focused player list. Second, from a budget perspective, I'm trying something new. I budget funds as I did in the past, but only buy one card per month. By taking this approach, it's helped me not veering from the list too much. It keeps me focused on the goal cards the best I can. When I get an urge to buy something not on my list, I can refocus myself on the goal of saving for that next card on the list that I want, as opposed to saying there's 15 cards, I'll buy them when I can buy them. I don't have money to buy any of them, but I have saved up enough to buy this other card not on the list. I'm going to buy that. Resets me back to 0. Then I got to start over. So don't want to do that this year. So really net, there's so many cards out there, but with just limited budget, I need to keep it under control. That's what I love about the hobby. With so many great cards out there, you can refocus every year, and there's always something awesome to pick up. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video of how my collecting strategy has changed for the year. I know that sometimes we feel like making a change is kind of giving up on something and starting something new before we finished it. I don't view it that way. I view it as there's just, like I said earlier, so many different cards in the hobby that we could pick up. It's important to just focus on the ones that we really want at this time, right? So pick up the ones you want now. In a couple of years, they might not be cards that are super high priority for you anymore. And then the ones that are, you could pick up then. That's the beauty of the hobby. It's got lots of stuff that we could buy. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're subscribed, thank you for your subscription. If you're not subscribed and you like the video, please subscribe. Talk to you guys soon.